God says, it's an emergency. The identity of the person who wants to harm you has been revealed, and the name will shock you. Don't make the mistake of skipping this. The name is. There are moments in your life when everything seems quiet on the outside, yet deep within your spirit, there is a stirring, a divine urgency, a whisper from heaven that refuses to be ignored. Right now is one of those moments. Heaven is not silent. God is speaking clearly, warning you out of love, not to frighten you, but to prepare and protect you. This is not just another passing message. This is a wake-up call wrapped in compassion, and you are not here by accident. You were chosen to hear this, and it's not a coincidence that your heart is still reading this. There is something coming against you, and God has exposed it, not to scare you, but to bring you into His shelter before the storm hits. Comment Amen right now to affirm that you receive this word with faith and humility. If you believe God brought you here for a reason, please like this video. Your click is not for a number, it's a way to say, God, I am listening. I am here. I'm not walking away from what you're trying to tell me. The warning is not the enemy's voice. It is the loving, protective cry of the Father who sees everything the enemy tries to hide. He sees what's being whispered behind your back, what's plotted in the shadows, what's being planned in rooms where your name is mentioned without your presence. And now, God is pulling back the curtain and saying, it's time. The truth is being exposed. This isn't a word meant to weigh you down. It is meant to lift you up out of the traps the enemy has set. The identity of the one who seeks to harm you isn't unknown to God. It's never been a mystery in heaven. The same God who knew the schemes of Pharaoh against Moses, who foresaw Haman's evil plans against Esther and her people, who heard every lie against Daniel before he ever entered the lion's den, is the same God who is revealing the hidden hand working against your peace, your mind, your progress, your purpose. God says it is an emergency because the attack has already been initiated. But heaven is never late. His mercy is the alarm that sounds before the enemy reaches the door. The betrayal, the slander, the manipulation, it's not going unnoticed. You have not been forgotten or left to fend for yourself. The fire that's been turned up around you has not gone unseen by God. In fact, it's the fire that brought you to this moment, and this moment is the rescue. The name will shock you, not because it belongs to someone far away, but because it may be someone close. And that's what makes it hurt. It could be the one who smiled in your face, prayed with you, sat beside you, or even offered help when you needed it. But all along, the enemy was using that connection to get closer, not to bless you, but to break you. But God says no more. This exposure is your freedom. This warning is your protection. Stay with this. Do not click away. Every second matters. There is healing in these words, and there is safety in what God is unfolding for you right now. You are not in danger because God is late. You are safe because He showed up early. He reveals so He can redeem. He exposes so He can protect. He speaks so you can survive what others were hoping would destroy you. Comment 11:11 if you believe God is revealing this to you at the exact time you needed it most. There are seasons when the enemy doesn't come dressed in threats. He comes dressed in trust. He wears the disguise of loyalty, but his intent is destruction. God is pulling off the mask now. The true identity is being laid bare. And as painful as it may feel to recognize who has been secretly working against you, the relief that will flood your soul once they are removed will be like a river of peace washing through your spirit. You were never meant to carry the weight of betrayal alone. God carried the cross, and he also carried the weight of every friend who walked away, every word of rejection, every false accusation. So he knows what it feels like. He's not watching from a distance. He's standing with you, arms wrapped around your heart, whispering, "I will not let them win." This emergency is not chaos. It's order in disguise. It's heaven rearranging your life to remove what is not from him. The shaking you feel is not destruction. It is deliverance. You're not losing people. You're being released from pretenders. You're not being abandoned. You're being protected. The name that will be revealed is not just someone in your life, it is someone whose influence has silently held you back for too long. That grip is breaking now. You don't have to beg for clarity. God is giving it freely. You don't need to confront them yourself. God is already confronting them in the spirit. You don't need to fight in the flesh. Stand still, and you will see the salvation of the Lord. He is your defender, your shield, your rock, your fortress. You are not alone in this emergency. Heaven's army surrounds you. Angels are already stationed where the enemy thought you would fall. You will not fall. You will rise. The same God who shut the mouths of lions for Daniel is silencing every false voice raised against you. The same God who parted the sea for Moses is clearing a path for you to walk away from what meant to entrap you. The same God who turned Joseph's prison into a palace is turning your betrayal into blessing. Do not panic. Do not fear. The urgency is not to bring terror but to stir up your faith. Could this 7-second CIA brainwave trick be your fastest path to luxury? Leaked research reveals a simple ritual helping people attract wealth effortlessly. Proven by 4 neuroscience labs, debt is dissolving and abundance is showing up fast. If you're seeing this now, you are God's chosen one. Click the link in the comments before it disappears. You are chosen. You are loved. You are protected. You are covered. This exposure is not punishment. It is proof that God is watching over you with such deep care that he will not allow harm to come near you without warning you first. You are that important to him. You matter that much to heaven. Stay with this. Let the rest of these words sink into your heart. God is still speaking. The unfolding is not done. There is more you must hear. This is not the end. This is just the beginning of what God is about to release over your life. You are not standing at the edge of destruction. You are standing at the edge of deliverance. And the next few moments will lead you into the light you've been praying for. Something has felt off in your spirit. There were words they spoke that seemed right, but their heart never matched their lips. Their presence was familiar, yet your soul never truly felt peace around them. And now, God is confirming what you couldn't put into words. This was never meant to stay connected to you. God is revealing this to you because your next season depends on your willingness to release the wrong people. You cannot take confusion where He's about to lead you. You cannot carry the weight of betrayal into a place that is built on trust. You cannot let disguised opposition stand in the same room where miracles are being born. This is not about revenge. This is about protection. It's not about punishing them. It's about preserving you. And that's why it had to come to this moment, because you are standing at the edge of something so holy, so deeply purposed, that heaven had to remove every false attachment before the door opens. Comment 222 if you trust that God is uncovering what was never meant to remain hidden. This is not just someone who gossiped or spoke poorly of you. This is someone who allowed the enemy to use them as a vessel of delay in your life. They pretended to celebrate you while quietly resenting the favor on your life. They smiled at your breakthrough but hoped it wouldn't last. They called themselves your support but carried silent jealousy in their heart. And now, the Lord is stepping in, not because you asked Him to, but because His love for you will not allow the seeds of sabotage to grow roots any longer. It might be hard to hear. It might even bring tears to your eyes. But you are not breaking down, you are breaking free. The emotional weight you've been carrying was never yours to begin with. The confusion you've been battling was not a lack of faith, it was your spirit reacting to what your mind couldn't quite explain. You've been discerning it without full clarity. Now comes the clarity. When God says it's an emergency, He's not exaggerating. He's speaking to the timeline of destiny, the urgency of your call, the importance of your protection. There are blessings coming your way that need to land in safe hands. There are open doors ahead that require discernment to walk through. There are miracles in motion that cannot afford to be disrupted by voices that do not carry the same spirit of truth. This emergency is not about panic, it is about positioning. God is positioning you for something greater, and that means there must be a separation. There must be a cutting away of what looks good but does not carry good fruit. There must be a removal of those who clap with you in public but tear you down in secret. And while it may hurt for a moment, the peace that will follow will confirm everything. You are not losing a relationship. You are gaining back your peace. You are not falling apart. You are stepping into clarity. You are not being isolated. You are being insulated by God's protection. The very people you thought you needed may have been the ones assigned to keep you stuck. But no more. God is releasing you now. He's severing ties that were never tied by Him. And what He breaks off, He replaces with better. You will not walk into this next season confused. You will walk into it confident and protected. You will not wonder who is for you and who is against you. God is making it plain. The name may be shocking, but the freedom it brings will be undeniable. The peace that floods in after they exit will confirm just how much they were draining your spirit. You'll breathe easier. You'll think clearer. You'll pray deeper. You'll dream bigger. That's what happens when the wrong presence is removed from your life. This is not just a personal attack, it was spiritual warfare disguised as friendship, closeness, or even support. But God sees deeper than the surface. He searches the heart. He knows the motives. He knows what was said behind your back. He knows the envy that hid behind every compliment. He knows the manipulation behind every gift. And now, He is removing the mask. Not to humiliate, but to heal. Not to cause division, but to protect the vision. Let this be your confirmation. That uneasiness you've been feeling was real. That whisper in your spirit was His voice. That weight in your chest wasn't anxiety, it was the spiritual tension of light trying to exist with darkness. But now the darkness is being pushed out. Now the light is taking over. Now the truth is setting you free. God does not speak without purpose. If He says it's an emergency, then it's because the time to act is now. Your delay ends here. Your peace begins now. The chains fall now. The confusion breaks now. The name that once had access to you will no longer have authority in your life. What they planned for harm, God is already turning into something beautiful. You don't need to defend yourself. God will speak for you. You don't need to prove who they are. God is already revealing it. What's really behind the 7-second brain trick exploding online? A leaked CIA ritual is turning heads and bank balances. Backed by neuroscience labs, this at-home method removes money blocks and unlocks unstoppable wealth flow. But the page could vanish anytime. Click the link in the first comment before it's permanently deleted. This is your time to rise. The emergency was the alarm bell of heaven, but what follows is the embrace of the Father. You are surrounded. You are kept. You are hidden under His wings. The enemy cannot touch what God has covered. And you, beloved, are fully covered. Your steps are guarded. Your name is held in His hand. Your future is not in danger. It is in divine preparation. Stay close to His presence. Keep your heart open. The truth is not the end, it is the beginning of healing. The name will be revealed in ways you least expect. It may come through a conversation, a moment of clarity, or a sudden shift in behavior that leaves no more room for confusion. Whatever the way, God will make sure you know. And once you know, do not cling to what He exposed. Release it. Release them. And walk forward into the fullness of what He has prepared for you. God is still speaking, and everything He is revealing now is part of the greater healing He's been preparing for you. The urgency has not passed, but the purpose within it is becoming clearer. You were not warned just to be afraid. You were warned because what's coming is too holy for deception to come with you. You may have cried quietly behind closed doors, wondering why the atmosphere around you shifted when certain people entered your space. You questioned your own heart, thinking you were imagining the discomfort, second-guessing your own intuition. But the Spirit of God has been your guide all along. The heaviness was never yours to carry. It came from a connection that had turned toxic, a spiritual imbalance that started to bleed into your emotional world, and now the Lord is separating you from it with His own hand. Comment 333 if you declare your faith that God is cutting away what no longer belongs in your life. He knows the battles you fought just to stay afloat, the inner warfare of smiling while silently breaking. He knows how you pushed yourself to be strong, even while standing in the presence of someone whose spirit was slowly robbing you of peace. You didn't want to believe it. You hoped they would change. You gave them chances. You forgave in silence. But the time has come. God is no longer allowing them to stand in the sacred space of your calling. They had access to your heart, and they used that access for harm, whether through manipulation, control, or the slow erosion of your identity. And you held on because you loved them, because the history you shared made it hard to walk away. But love without truth is not love at all, and God is truth. He is not just removing someone from your life. He is restoring you to yourself, the version of you that breathed freely before the entanglement began. You must understand this. This is not about bitterness or vengeance. This is about cleansing. This is about holiness. This is about divine preparation. You are being set apart, purified, and made whole again. The same God who saw Judas at the table with Jesus sees every Judas who has dined with you, smiled with you, praised you with their lips but pierced you with their intentions. And just as Jesus still fulfilled his purpose in the presence of betrayal, so will you. Betrayal cannot stop what God has written. There's a shifting in the heavens. You are not being punished. You are being purified. The noise in your spirit is not fear. It is the sound of shackles breaking. It is the echo of heaven making room for something greater. God never tears down unless He is about to build something new. And what He's building in your life is too sacred to be contaminated. You may feel lonely for a moment, but you are not alone. What feels like loss is actually protection in disguise. The person whose name has now been revealed was not part of your future. They were only present to teach you something about discernment, about listening to the voice of God above the voice of your emotions. And now that the lesson has taken root, the release is here. They will not be able to stop your growth. They will not be able to delay your breakthrough. They will not speak over your name any longer. God is silencing their influence and removing their presence from the garden of your purpose. He is weeding out what grew without His permission. And once it is gone, you will feel the oxygen return to your soul. You will feel the lightness in your step again. You will feel your prayers regain strength. Your discernment is not a burden. It is a blessing. That unease was not confusion. It was the Holy Spirit protecting you before your eyes could see the full truth. And now, what was hidden in darkness is being called into the light. Not to shame, but to set free. Not just to warn you, but to anchor you in wisdom. There is still more to come. Do not think this exposure was the end. It was only the beginning of a deeper purification. God is not just cleaning your outer circle. He's renewing your inner strength. He's rebuilding the walls of your identity. The words they spoke that made you feel small are being uprooted. The lies that lingered are being burned away. You are being made new. Every tear that fell in secret is now turning into a seed for something greater. The rejection, the betrayal, the heartbreak, it is all being turned into the very thing that will carry you into your next season. God wastes nothing. Even the pain you didn't deserve is being recycled into purpose. You may be tempted to go back, to explain, to seek closure. But hear this clearly, the warning was your closure. The exposure was your release. Do not revisit what God has removed. Do not try to fix what God has already declared finished. Move forward with boldness. Move forward with peace. Move forward with the confidence that heaven is backing your every step. The secret ritual they never wanted public is finally out. A 7-second brain technique, backed by leaked CIA data and 4 neuroscience labs, is helping families erase debt and attract money on autopilot. But this miracle won't stay public long. Click the link in the description and comments now before it's gone forever. The healing has begun. Slowly, you will feel your joy return. Your laughter will come back lighter. Your mornings will feel more free. Your nights will hold rest again. Because the presence that disturbed your peace has been removed. And in its place, the presence of God is filling every empty space. This is not the end of your story. This is the rising. This is the part where God restores what you didn't even know you lost while you were busy surviving. This is where He speaks softly and reminds you that you never had to carry that burden alone. You never had to fight in silence. You never had to doubt your worth. The emergency was not a curse. It was a covering. The urgency was not panic. It was prophecy. God interrupted your comfort because He could no longer allow compromise to sit beside your calling. And now that the exposure has come, now that the truth has been spoken, you are stepping into something brand new. Let your heart stay open. Let your faith stay anchored. Let your spirit stay sensitive. Because this is still the beginning. The hand of God is not done moving in your life. What He started, He will complete. What He revealed, He will heal. What He removed, He will replace with something far greater than you ever imagined. Nothing in your life will remain the same after this. The exposure was not just about revealing a name or identifying a person. It was a holy unveiling of what had been blocking your prayers, disturbing your peace, and secretly draining your strength. What you're feeling right now may be unfamiliar, like standing in the aftermath of a storm, wondering what's still standing. But that's the beauty of divine disruption. God leaves nothing standing that was never meant to last. He removes only what cannot follow you into your future. You're not standing in ruins. You're standing on holy ground. The lies have been torn down, but the truth is rising from the dust. And in that truth, your real healing begins. Comment 555 if you know God is rebuilding you with His own hands, stronger than before. The one who was trying to harm you did not succeed. They may have gained access to your trust, your kindness, your vulnerability, but they never gained authority over your destiny. Because your destiny is sealed in heaven. It was written long before they entered your life, and it will continue long after they've been removed from it. The enemy's plot could never rewrite what God already declared over you. You are covered. You are protected. You are chosen. God saw the manipulation. He heard the words they spoke in secret. He noticed the shift in their heart before you even sensed the change. And still, He gave them time. Time to repent. Time to walk in the light. But when they refused, He stepped in, not to expose them for your satisfaction, but to prevent the destruction they were planning from touching your life. That is how deeply He loves you. That is how fiercely He protects you. You may feel betrayed, confused, even heartbroken, but God is not finished. He's just getting started. The revelation of who was against you is painful, but it will pass. And what will rise from it is a strength you've never walked in before. You will not just survive this. You will come out of it wiser, lighter, more focused, and more anointed. The fire you walked through is refining your faith, not ruining it. This is not a season to shrink back. This is a season to rise up. The removal of that name, that influence, that voice, was a signal that the heavens are clearing your path. And when God clears the path, it means your next steps are too important to be delayed. Every word spoken over your life by God is still active. Every promise He made is still alive. And now, with no more hidden enemy walking beside you, those promises will begin to unfold without resistance. The pain you feel is not permanent. The wound is real, but so is the healing. And it is already beginning. One day soon, you'll wake up and the weight you've been carrying will be gone. You'll breathe easier, walk freer, and feel the strength of God moving through you in ways that will leave you in tears, not from sorrow, but from gratitude. Gratitude that He never left you. Gratitude that He spoke when others stayed silent. Gratitude that He reached into the depths of your situation and pulled you out just in time. You are not in danger anymore. You are in transition. You are moving from deception to discernment, from confusion to clarity, from bondage to boldness. The atmosphere around you is changing. Where there was heaviness, peace is coming. Where there was fear, joy is being restored. Where there was betrayal, trust in God is taking deeper root. And that trust will carry you further than any human loyalty ever could. There's something sacred about being rescued by God when you didn't even know how close the threat really was. That is exactly what is happening right now. He is the God who delivers before the damage. He is the one who heals before the wounds become permanent. He does not wait for you to beg for help. His love steps in before you even know what to ask for. That's why this is not just an emergency, it's a miracle in progress. Comment 12:12 if you believe God is working behind the scenes and you trust Him with your future. Do not look back. Do not mourn the connection God has severed. The one who was pretending to be your shelter was only a shadow blocking your view of the real covering. And now that the shadow is gone, the light will shine brighter than ever before. You will see clearly. You will walk boldly. You will speak with authority because the silence that once held you captive has been broken. Is this leaked CIA ritual the missing key to your financial breakthrough? A once-hidden brain ritual is spreading fast. This strange 7-second method, confirmed by elite neuroscience labs, activates your brain's wealth magnet. The government may shut this down. If you're seeing this, you are God's chosen child. Click the link in the description and comments before it's deleted. This revelation is not just about protection. It is preparation. God is setting the stage for your next elevation. And the crowd that applauds you in your rising cannot include those who once rooted for your fall. The applause may be smaller, but it will be purer. The room may be quieter, but it will be filled with truth. You will walk with fewer people, but they will be people sent by God, not planted by the enemy. You are being refined by fire, but not consumed. You are being shaken, but not broken. You are being reset, not rejected. God is pruning your life with purpose, cutting away what no longer serves your soul, so that what remains can grow without resistance. This is not loss, it is launch. You are being launched into purpose, into clarity, into identity, into alignment with heaven. Keep walking. Don't pause in the pain. Don't settle in the sorrow. God is moving you forward. And He's not asking you to be strong on your own. He's offering His strength to carry you. Let Him. Trust Him. Lean on Him. Let the tears fall, but don't lose your footing. You are standing on a foundation that cannot be shaken. You are not the same person you were before the name was revealed. You are wiser now. You are stronger now. You are clearer now. And though your heart may still be tender, it is protected by the one who sees the end from the beginning. What you thought was a loss was actually divine rescue. What felt like exposure was really elevation. The path is clear. The weight is gone. The light is returning. And your future is still intact, still blessed, still dripping with purpose and favor. You will look back on this and see it as the turning point. Not the moment everything fell apart, but the moment everything fell into place. That voice, that influence, that name that once carried confusion, manipulation, or spiritual heaviness no longer has the right to speak into your life. Their presence has been removed by the wisdom and power of God. And though it might have come suddenly, it didn't happen randomly. It happened by divine appointment. God is not just healing you from what they did. He is healing you from what they represented. The false comfort. The distraction. The delay. The confusion disguised as care. The control disguised as counsel. It was never sent to bless you. It was sent to slow you. But heaven stepped in. The God who never sleeps saw what you couldn't see and heard what you couldn't hear. And when the time came, He acted swiftly, cutting off the root before it poisoned your future. Comment 777 if you know this was God's way of bringing divine completion and protection into your life. The pain might still echo in your emotions. You may still feel moments of grief over what was lost. That's natural. God is not asking you to pretend it didn't hurt. But He is asking you to trust that the hurt had a holy purpose. Every tear you've cried is seen. Every silent prayer is heard. Every moment of confusion, every night you laid awake questioning yourself, every internal battle that wore your soul thin, He saw it all, and now He's doing what only He can do. He is turning the bitter into better. He is making the broken places whole again. What you're stepping into is not just healing, but transformation. The old version of you, the one who tolerated confusion, second-guessed discernment, or settled for less than what God intended, is no longer in control. There is a new strength rising in you, forged in the fire of betrayal, shaped by the hand of God. And this strength is not cold or hard, it is soft with wisdom, guarded by grace, and lit by the fire of truth. You were not created to live in fear. You were not meant to walk in anxiety about who is real and who is pretending. That is why God intervened. That is why He exposed the name. Because He never intended for you to keep guessing who was safe and who was secretly sent to sabotage. You have endured that long enough. Now, you are being led by peace, and wherever peace goes, God is near. There is something sacred that happens when God removes someone from your life. It is not just subtraction. It is divine subtraction followed by supernatural multiplication. God never takes without giving more in return. You may have lost one connection, but He is sending you divine alignment. You may have lost a voice, but He is amplifying His own voice in your heart louder than ever before. What you thought you needed, He is replacing with something eternal, something that carries His breath, His wisdom, His timing. Do not chase closure where God has already placed a period. You don't need to reopen what He shut. You don't need to go back for answers. The exposure was the answer. The revelation was the rescue. Every time you feel tempted to return to what God removed, remind yourself of the unrest it caused. Remind yourself of how heavy your spirit felt. That was not love. That was not safety. That was not the voice of God. God is never cruel, and He never asks you to lose without preparing a greater gain. He is positioning you now, quietly and steadily, for something your heart has longed for but couldn't find in the presence of that name. That is why it had to end. That is why it had to be removed. The space you have now is holy ground. It is the garden where new things will grow. And nothing harmful is allowed to plant seeds here anymore. This moment is sacred because it is the moment when the dust finally settles and you begin to see yourself again, not through their eyes, not through the lens of your past pain, but through the eyes of God. You are not broken beyond repair. You are not damaged goods. You are not hard to love. You are not too much. You are not too sensitive. You are exactly who God created you to be, and now you will walk in that identity without apology or fear. What if 7 seconds is all it takes to flip your financial fate? A shocking CIA leak just exposed a hidden brain ritual helping ordinary people erase debt and pull in massive wealth. Backed by 4 neuroscience labs, this at-home method is turning struggle into luxury fast. But this page could be erased any moment. Click the link in the first comment now before it's gone forever. The enemy's plan to confuse you has failed. The veil has been torn. The clarity you now carry is powerful. You will never again overlook the red flags. You will never again silence your inner knowing. The Holy Spirit lives inside you and will never let you fall asleep around danger again. You've been awakened. You've been marked. You've been chosen. Comment 999 if you believe your divine completion is beginning and a new chapter is opening for you now. The healing you are stepping into will not just restore your heart, it will restore your confidence. The person who tried to harm you may have shaken your trust, but they did not destroy your worth. God is rebuilding that now, not in a loud or rushed way, but in the quiet strength of His love. He is holding your heart like something precious, because to Him, it is. You are going to begin seeing signs of His restoration all around you. Little things that remind you He is near. Conversations that bring clarity. Moments of peace where there used to be panic. Unexpected blessings that show up exactly when you need them. The enemy tried to bury your joy under confusion, but joy is rising again. And this time, it will not be temporary. It will be rooted in truth, grounded in discernment, and protected by the God who never lets you walk alone. Let this be a reminder that no exposure, no betrayal, no name that was revealed can stop what God has already put in motion. What He started in your life is still moving forward. You are still the chosen one. You are still the beloved child. You are still the one He anointed, called, and set apart. And no one, no matter how close they once were, can cancel what God is doing. Walk gently with yourself in this season. Give yourself permission to grieve, to breathe, to let go, to rest. But do not let go of hope. Do not stop expecting beauty. Do not stop believing in love. Do not close your heart. What left your life was never meant to last. What's coming into your life will feel like sunlight on skin, like fresh air in tired lungs, like coming home after a long journey. God is still writing your story. And this part, the part that hurts so deeply, will one day be the chapter you point to when you say, "That's when everything changed. That's when I became who I was always meant to be." This restoration is not quick or loud, but it is holy, and it is real. The same hand that revealed the truth is the hand now holding you through the healing. You are not walking forward alone. The Lord is walking ahead of you, clearing every path, removing every hidden trap, and shining light where confusion once lived. Every part of you that felt small, dismissed, or overlooked because of that connection is now being lifted into divine recognition. God did not allow the exposure just to protect your physical surroundings. He allowed it to bring freedom to your heart, to open your eyes, and to shake loose the parts of your spirit that were stuck. You may not have realized how much of your identity was wrapped up in someone who was quietly pulling you away from God's voice. But now, the blindfold is gone. The weight has lifted. And what remains is the beginning of something beautiful, something eternal. Comment 10:10 if you feel the peace of God returning to the places where pain once lived. You're learning how to breathe again. You're learning how to sit in silence without fearing the shadows. You're learning how to walk without second-guessing your every step. What tried to distort your view of yourself no longer holds the power to define your future. That person's voice may have once shaped the way you saw your worth, but their voice has been silenced by the authority of heaven. And now, you are being reintroduced to yourself, the you that existed before the damage, the you that God knit together with His own hands, the you that still carries purpose, joy, wisdom, and strength. You are not behind. You are not late. You are right where you are supposed to be. And the delay caused by their presence is now being redeemed by divine acceleration. Every day you spent under their influence is now being restored by the God who wastes nothing. He is giving you back the time, the energy, the dreams that were placed on hold, and He's doing it in a way that leaves no trace of shame or regret. What once felt like lost years will now feel like foundations for something greater than you could have imagined. They may have tried to speak against your name, but God is rewriting your story in front of those who thought they had the final word. This is the season where vindication comes without your effort, where elevation happens without your striving, where peace returns without your searching. The same God who exposed the harm is the God who is now making your name known for the right reasons, for His glory, for His purpose, and for His will. There is a new confidence rising in you. It is not pride. It is not arrogance. It is the quiet strength of someone who knows they are loved by God and protected by heaven. You are not just recovering. You are being prepared. There is a divine assignment ahead of you, and God could not allow you to carry it while being tied to someone who was secretly working against it. The name that shocked you was not just someone who failed you, they were someone who stood in the way of your calling. But now, the obstruction is removed. The path is clear. And the journey ahead will be unlike anything you've walked before. Your discernment is sharper now. Your vision is clearer. And your spirit is more grounded in truth. This isn't just healing, it's awakening. It's the stirring of your soul to rise into the fullness of who you are in Christ. You are not defined by what happened. You are defined by the one who rescued you from it. And He is not just calling you out of that season, He's calling you deeper into Himself. Comment 15:15 if you know your life is about to shift into something completely led by the Spirit of God. People are asking why money is suddenly flowing into random lives. A leaked CIA discovery reveals a 7-second brain ritual that quietly rewires your mind for wealth. Proven by 4 neuroscience labs, people are wiping out debt and stepping into luxury with ease. If you're seeing this, you're very lucky. Click the link in the description and comments before it disappears. God is surrounding you now with the kind of people who speak life, not doubt. Honor, not harm. Peace, not pressure. He is realigning your relationships, setting divine boundaries, and building a safe space for you to grow into everything He intended for you to become. You will never again have to wonder if the people in your life truly carry your heart. You will know. There will be peace. There will be trust. There will be alignment. And through it all, God will remain your anchor. Because this is more than a transition, it's a transformation. The pain did not break you. It birthed you into something greater. The loss did not end you. It marked the beginning of your rising. The name that once carried weight in your life is now just a name God used to teach you who you really are, and who you will never be again. You are never going back. You are never settling again. You are never dimming your light for the comfort of others. You have been called out, set apart, and divinely protected. There is a fire in your spirit that no betrayal can extinguish. There is a grace over your life that no opposition can remove. You've been tested, but now you're trusted. And God is about to show you why you had to go through what you did. Every place where you were once silent, God is now giving you a voice. Every room where you were once hidden, He is now calling your name. Not for attention. Not for validation. But for purpose. There is something you carry that the world needs, and now that the counterfeit connection has been cut off, you can walk freely in that anointing. Let your heart be light again. Let your spirit rise. Let your prayers become bolder. Let your dreams become clearer. God is not just healing you from the past. He is handing you the keys to your future. And that future is filled with peace, purpose, clarity, and joy. The kind of joy that does not waver. The kind of peace that surpasses understanding. This is what it means to be kept by God. To be seen in the secret place. To be fought for when you didn't even know a battle was happening around you. He saw every unseen arrow. He heard every quiet whisper. And he moved on your behalf because you are that loved. You are that protected. You are that valuable to the kingdom. There's no more need to explain. No more desire to prove. You have nothing to defend. You are walking forward now, not because you have everything figured out, but because the one who does is guiding every step. The emergency that once threatened your peace has turned into a divine setup for a new beginning you never expected but always needed. The identity of the one who tried to harm you may have shocked you, but it didn't shock God. And because of that, your future is still completely intact. There is a shift happening in the atmosphere around you. The spiritual resistance that tried to keep you stuck has broken. The chains that made you feel small have been shattered. The emotional and mental fog you battled is clearing, and God is now giving you supernatural clarity to see what He's been preparing for you all along. He is placing your feet on solid ground again, not just to restore what was lost, but to give you something entirely new. Comment 1717 if you believe God is leading you into divine victory and new beginnings right now. You are entering a season where your spirit will no longer be pulled in different directions. No more divided loyalty. No more inner war. No more giving pieces of yourself to those who were never called to carry your heart. God is closing every door that gave the enemy access to your peace, and with every closed door, heaven is unlocking something that was being held back on your behalf. This is a season of replanting. The roots that were once tangled with deception are being pulled free. And now, with your spirit finally clear, the growth that's coming will be pure, steady, and filled with peace. The tears you cried were not wasted. They watered the very ground you will now walk upon with strength. The weakness you felt was not a failure. It was the space where God proved He was your strength. You may have felt like you were falling apart, but heaven was holding every broken piece with care, waiting for this moment, this holy moment, when God could begin to rebuild you from the inside out. You're not walking back into old patterns. You're stepping into alignment. The noise is quieting because you've been released from what was never meant to follow you. The name that tried to silence your voice is now irrelevant to where you're going. You've been set apart. You've been chosen. And God will never allow anything or anyone to linger in your life once they've been revealed as a threat to your purpose. What the enemy meant to use as a trap, God has turned into testimony. That person who sought to harm you will not see you fall. They will see you rise, not in pride, not in revenge, but in the grace and favor of the one who defended you when you couldn't defend yourself. There is power in your story. There is glory in your survival. And soon, your peace will be louder than your pain ever was. You will not walk in suspicion. You will walk in discernment. You will not live in fear. You will move with wisdom. You will not build walls that keep out love. You will set boundaries that protect your heart without hardening it. This is what healing looks like when it comes from God. It does not make you cold. It makes you whole. You're not closing yourself off from connection. You're allowing only what carries peace to stay. Why is everyone rushing to this 7-second brain ritual? Leaked CIA files exposed a hidden brainwave technique that opens the door to wealth fast. Verified by 4 top neuroscience labs, it's turning financial stress into abundance almost overnight. But this secret won't stay public for long. Click the link in the pinned comments before it's deleted forever. You may still remember what they did, but the sting is losing its grip. That's the proof that God is already at work in your heart. The voice that once kept replaying the betrayal is getting quieter because the voice of your Father is growing louder. And His voice says you are still worthy, still valuable, still destined for greatness, still protected. Comment Amen if you receive that healing and peace over your heart right now. Every unanswered question, every conversation that ended in confusion, every text that made your heart sink, it's all being laid to rest. You don't need to go back to make sense of it. You don't need closure from someone who was never honest to begin with. What you need is already happening. God is giving you peace in the absence of their apology. He's giving you rest without needing an explanation. And that is the mark of true deliverance. This is not about forgetting. It's about being free. This is not about erasing your past. It's about walking unchained from it. The pain didn't define you, it refined you. The loss didn't break you, it shaped you. You're not less because of what you went through. You are more. More grounded. More aware. More sensitive to God's voice. And more determined to protect what He places in your hands moving forward. There is a stillness coming to your soul. The kind of stillness that says, I don't need to know what they think about me. I know what God says about me. The kind of peace that no longer reacts to triggers because you've been healed where the wounds once were. This is what God is doing. He's going to make you so whole that you won't even recognize the version of you that once tolerated disrespect, manipulation, or chaos. Your atmosphere is shifting. Your home is being filled with peace again. Your mornings will begin to feel light. Your thoughts will begin to feel free. God is removing the residue of their influence, even the silent pressure they left behind. And in its place, He's breathing new life into your soul. Fresh joy. Clear perspective. Gentle strength. Sacred confidence. You will laugh again and it won't be forced. You will rest again and it won't be interrupted. You will love again and it won't hurt. Because what God is building around you now is protected by the fire of His presence. You're not just moving on. You're stepping up. And everything around you is going to reflect that transformation. This was never just about a person being removed. It was about your life being reclaimed. The identity you gave away piece by piece is being returned to you in full. The influence you let slide out of your hands is being restored. You are taking up space again, not out of pride but because heaven has made room for you to breathe and become. Let this be your confirmation. You are not late. You are not lost. You are not forgotten. You are seen. You are loved. You are safe. And you are still on time for everything God planned. The detour did not cancel your destination. The delay did not deny your breakthrough. It only gave God the chance to show you just how protected and chosen you truly are. You've felt tension for a long time. You've walked through seasons where your spirit felt disturbed and uneasy. You've questioned yourself, doubted your worth, and battled thoughts that weren't even your own. That's because there was an open door, one created by misplaced trust, a relationship out of divine alignment, or a person whose intentions did not match their words. And God, in His mercy, could not let you keep walking with someone who was quietly partnering with the enemy's agenda. Comment Amen if you receive the peace that comes when God removes hidden enemies from your life. This is your recovery season. It is not just recovery of joy or stability, it is the recovery of you. The parts of you that got lost trying to please someone who never saw your heart clearly. The dreams you pushed aside to keep the peace. The voice you silenced so others wouldn't feel uncomfortable. The boldness you dimmed because you feared being misunderstood. God is restoring it all. Every gift, every part of your identity, every ounce of your purpose that was stolen or buried under spiritual weight is coming back to the surface. You may have thought you had to wait longer, that your time would come someday. But God is saying that someday is now. The delay is over. The atmosphere has shifted. And because of the revelation, the path is now open. What was once blocked is now being cleared. And you, beloved, are free to move forward without the chains of guilt, fear, or attachment to what God has already removed.